Here we have a nice selection of hair and other memorial jewelry. The wreath here is actually made with several different shades of hair. We suspect that it might be a memorial piece for someone's grandparents. Now, with the three pieces right here are what are known as hair receivers. They are perhaps the earliest of the pieces we have in this exhibit. Later, they did develop other techniques for weaving the hair into jewelry. And not only women would wear the hair jewelry, but also men. This watch chain right here was owned by someone that was also a member of the Elks fraternal organization. The hair could have come from his sister or his wife, and they would not necessarily have been deceased for them to make jewelry out of their hair. They would just simply be a memento to a loved one. Now, the four pieces here are made out of a material known as Bog Oak. That is a petrified wood that was found in several places throughout Europe, and it was highly prized by the wood carvers because it could take a very crisp edge. It was also highly prized as memorial jewelry because it had that dull black look to it, which would indicate the first stage of mourning. Typically, a widow would have to remain in that first stage of mourning for at least a month, if not for an entire year. The other materials we have represented here are glass, which, because of its shinier nature, would have been used in the next stage of mourning. Now, these two items here are made out of a material that most people have never heard of. It's called Gutta Percha, and this is a naturally occurring material, very similar to rubber. It was much easier to process than rubber. So consequently, when the vulcanization process for rubber was discovered, Gutta Percha fell to the wayside because it was more expensive to produce. It could be colored and molded, just very similar to rubber. Many of the uses overlap. In fact, the first transatlantic cable to Europe was insulated with Gutta Percha. Now, also we have some daguerreotypes, which were very popular at that time. The Victorians definitely would have obsessed on anything sentimental to deal with mourning.